More. Today we get to find out more about what's going on in Quitman County with the Ministry of the Reclaimed Project. And joining us to tell us more is Miss Kendall Myrick. Hey, Kendall.
Hey, Rebecca. How are you today?
I am doing well. How's the weather there? You're getting a little rain. Is it still muggy and sticky in Marks?
Yep, it's very sunny, very warm. And also, I have Daniel with me as well.
Oh, and Daniel. Hey, Daniel.
Hey, Rebecca.
Well, it's
Can
good
you
to
hear us okay?
We can. We were having a little technical difficulties with our video, but we got you guys by phone, and we will rock on, as you have to do. Sometimes you just have to figure it out and keep moving forward. And I know you guys are moving forward there with the Reclaimed Project, even though the founders are over in Africa for the summer. So tell us a little bit of how you got connected with the ministry there in Marks.
Yeah, I'll let Daniel tell you how he got here.
Yeah, so I was a senior at Ole Miss in 2016, and Reclaim was just doing work in Africa, and people kind of reached out to Reclaim and said, hey, we like the way you think about doing ministry and nonprofit work sustainably, and, would you consider doing something in Mississippi? And through a series of events, they said, well, we want to recruit teachers, and they got connected with the previous superintendent of Quitman County, and she said, man, we really need teachers and a way to house them. And so Reclaim basically said, well, let's go out and find teachers for them. And so they found me and another guy 6 years ago, and we taught and coached. And since then, we have a building of 7 apartments and downstairs where we can do after-school programs and such. And so when I was a senior, they just asked me to come over and teach, and that just kind of aligned with what I wanted to do with my life.
Isn't it true that there is a fraternity there at Ole Miss that connects with Reclaimed every year and goes on these mission trips with them overseas?
It's Mississippi State. It's Mississippi State Kappa Sig. And every year they do their charity bowl, and we're their beneficiaries of that. And so I actually got to go with them this year to Lesotho. So that was pretty cool. We took like 22 Kappa Sigs over to Lesotho, Africa, and that was a lot of fun.
Well, I just love it anytime you hear about college students, whether it's there at Ole Miss or Mississippi State or beyond, that gets connected with things that are giving back to the community like you guys do there in Marks. I know it's been a busy summer. Trying to keep the kids, entertained and, camps and fun stuff like that. So what have you all been up to?
Yeah, so we are staying busy with camps. During the school year, it's very serious with our schoolwork after school, and so we don't get to have as much fun with them during the school year. So the summertime we love. We have 2 interns here. We have one from Ole Miss and one from Mississippi College this summer, and so they've been helping us pull off some camps. So we just actually finished this week our sports camp, and we had a church come over from First Baptist Oxford, and they helped us run a sports camp we had about 55 kids every day, and it was just a blast. And so then we'll have an arts camp, we'll have a mechanics camp, and every week we have something on Fridays at the park. So we're just doing lots of fun events and also just good outreach to kids maybe that we haven't gotten to know. Everyone loves getting to be able to sign up to come and have fun at the village and out at the park, and also with one of our partners at the Hub is what we call it, with Coach Riley. He coaches the Marks 49ers football team. So we have a lot of fun with them as well.
How important is it during the summertime to keep those kids active, entertained, engaged? Because, even with our own kids, the summer can feel like it goes by fast, but then for some kids it can feel like it goes by really slow. So why is it so important for Reclaim to stay connected during, the summer months?
Yeah, I would say that I think on one of the first days of our camps, we had a 4th grader come up and hug Kendall and said, "This is the best day of my life." and we're just like, we think it's kind of a simple hangout. But when we look at this last week of camp of 55 kids, that might be like the second biggest congregation of kids besides the school district, where kids are actually getting to see each other and come to hang out. Our interns hosted a movie night last night, and they had like 16 middle school girls together hanging out. And there's just not that much opportunity to do that, especially in a community that's kind of like leaning on all the little towns in a whole county. So we were going to pick up kids in Sledge and Darlin and Crenshaw and Lambert and Marks, and kind of bringing them all together because they would never interact with each other outside of the normal school day. So we're kind of getting to see a lot of your school friends turn into real friends. And so it's just been a lot of fun to be able to have that and give them something good to do. And the kids are hungry to do it. We and our camps are mostly geared from K through maybe younger middle school, but we had a lot of high school boys show up and hang out and help out. And we were super thankful for them, and because we've been pouring into them the last 4 years. So it's cool to have even older guys come to something that might look like a little kids thing, because it's air conditioned, it's fun, they're being cared for, they get lunch, so that's good too.
And they've been coming for the past, we've been doing this for 6 years now. So they've been coming, and we've gotten to pour into them and get to know their younger siblings. So now they are also wanting to stick around and keep doing it. And so also I would say another reason why it's important just to keep them engaged out the summer is a lot of our kids face adversity and obstacles, and so it gives them a space to come and feel safe to be able to share and talk about the gospel and share our real hope that we have, which is in Jesus. And so we could talk about that with them. And really, in our rural community, we don't really have much options for counseling. We have some great pastors and great churches, but we don't have a lot of counseling. And so this has been a great avenue for them to get to express themselves and be able to really share what's going on at home and with their friends. So
I like you brought up the fact that you've been there for 6 years in Marks. I mean, oftentimes with good intentions, churches, and that's no blow, may go for 2 weeks and host a camp or come in for a fun weekend. But to really make change, you have to be there for the long term. And it feels like Reclaimed is really committed to the Marks and the greater Marks sort of Quitman County community. I mean, it took 6 years, and you're finally starting to see, the fruits of your labor. How important is it to stick in there and stick through it, even if the beginning it doesn't feel like it's necessarily welcomed?
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying is really important, and time is probably the most valuable thing that anyone could give anyone, and so that's kind of our goal with Reclaim is we have not been grant based, so we're 100% going out and fundraising, and we wanted to make a statement by buying a property here and not paying rent, just to say, like, we're here, and it's been super great for these churches to do the short-term trips, because they're getting to see kids year to year grow up, and we just get to be a bridge into a really awesome community where it would be kind of hard to just come in and not know anyone and try to do something. So, but also what's kept us here, like I said, is the people here that work for the school district that become our dear friends that we get to live in community with. And honestly, we probably get to have some deeper community in such a small place than maybe a lot of other communities where there's a lot more going on because it's easier to be busy. But we get to kind of choose to hang out with our teachers a lot. And that's kind of the other piece that we do is we recruit teachers. And a lot of times are spent supporting these teachers in the classroom, which is a really, really hard job for them to be doing. It's just like, how do we want to love them and keep them here? And these community members that grew up in Quitman County are now pouring and loving into the new people that we bring in. It's just kind of a really cool mixture. But yeah, time, giving people your time, it's kind of like your biggest act of love for somebody.
And sticking through it too. Yeah, I mean, you go ahead, Kendall.
No. I was just going to agree with him and say that's definitely what keeps us here is the people here. Definitely, we've spent many years here now building, and this feels like our community and our people. So that's what keeps us sticking around.
I love too that Reclaim chose a smaller community like Marks, Mississippi. How big's Marks? I mean, y'all, is it considered Marks? Is that would be like your home base? I know Quitman County is the county, obviously, but is it in the city of Marks?
Yes, we're in the downtown strip. Our building is called the Village. And like I said, upstairs is our teacher housing, and downstairs our programming area is right there in Marks. I think the county, Quitman County, is like 7,000 people. So I think in Marks we're probably saying maybe 1,700 maybe, somewhere in there. And we probably have 900 kids in the public school system.
So true small town Mississippi, but summer's ending. School's going to get started soon there in Marks and around. And I want to learn more about the teachers that you guys recruit coming up next. Find out more. We're finding out more about Reclaim Project there in Marks, Mississippi. Joining us is Kendall and Daniel Myrick, who are the ministry directors there, I guess, at the village and beyond. I'm sure you guys wear multiple hats there for the organization.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, yeah.
That's usually how it works. Speaking of events, though, we had someone text in on our C Spire text line to ask if you guys still have the banquet every year at the South. I know you guys go statewide with raising funds for the Reclaimed Project so you can continue your work there. Is that still one that's on your list of yearly events?
Yes, we do. We do one in Jackson each year. We've kind of changed. We've done some at the South, and then I think this year we're going to do it at Fondren Church in Fondren. We'll also do one. We'll do a golf tournament at the Clarksdale Country Club. So we'll do one a little closer to home to Quitman County. So this could be a shameless plug to go check out our website at reclaimproject.org and check out our golf tournament, 4-man scramble that we're putting on. We'd love to have people come out and play and support our ministry.
Well, I think that's no shame needed. We're always about supporting the good organizations that are up to good here in our state, which you guys do. And the main thing that you focus, or I guess at least that Reclaim does differently when it comes to helping a community, is bringing in teachers. We know how important teachers are. We know how important good education and good literacy in the beginning can set the stage or the foundation for, later on or opportunities for higher education. So what's that process look like? How many teachers do you guys try to recruit each school year? And where do they fit in, I guess, the K through 12 system?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And like you said, in a small town about wearing many hats, our school district wears sometimes all the hats. Sometimes they're family members, teachers, counselors, all of these different things. And so our ministry is focused around taking a couple of these hats and helping and wearing some of them with the school district. So the idea is, what if we could get really good at privately recruiting for public school teachers, and all we do is subsidize the living costs, and the school district still pays their salary and health benefits and all that stuff. We just would say, we go out and say, hey, come to this community. We're going to support you week in and week out in your classroom, outside of your classroom, Bible studies, connecting you with expert teachers, helping you get CEUs, and that way we're providing teachers and meeting the needs of the school district. And the school district really, really needs teachers, just like everywhere in our state. And so over the last 6 years, we probably brought in 14 teachers that some have come and stayed, some have come for a couple of years and gone. And our job is to try to maximize their impact and their experience when they come in here. So we have 7 apartments right now, and we have 5 teachers. And we're actually remodeling upstairs right now to give our teachers more space and just allow us to recruit even easier, because we're giving them a much bigger space. And so what we ask of our teachers is we look for someone who's ministry-minded, who's servant-minded, that wants to come in and work and kind of go the extra mile. And a lot of times we go to universities, but we also go to churches and say, hey, who's somebody in your church that you think this would kind of fit their calling and their skills to come teach in this community? And we'll do our best to really support and look after them and give them the tools they need. And so these teachers, they pay $250 a month to live upstairs. And that's rent, utilities, Wi-Fi, everything. And every year they complete with us, we give it half back. So it only costs a teacher $1,500 to live upstairs for their cost of living. And so we make that attractive, but also really selective. And so we want to really just meet the needs of our school. So if they need a math teacher, we want to go out and find a math teacher. If they need English or Spanish, that's who we want to go find. So it's not necessarily about how many we can bring in. Let's maximize that. It's just each year to year, we want to meet the need of the school district. It really excites me talking about the teachers, just because I think it could be such a cool and replicable model that we could do for these small, low income kind of areas, to where if we really get good at supporting teachers, donors trust, being able to give money to an organization that's going to house and help subsidize the cost of living is also going to give them emotional, spiritual support as they go in as a teacher to their classrooms. And like right now, we have 5 teachers for this next school year, and if they all teach around 70 kids a teacher, then that's 350 impacts they have every day on a daily basis for a school year. And that is kind of how we look at our numbers of impact and also the coworkers that they're serving as well.
You know, another piece of the Reclaimed story, I believe, is, you know, it started out as an international missions organization, and there's still work going on international. That's where the founders, or I guess the current owners, or executive director is right now, and his family, Brett, and what's his wife's name? Allison. I knew it was right there. I didn't want to call her the wrong thing. Brett and Allison, they are spending their summer over there serving, but they realized that the mission field could be right here in Mississippi. And I think there's a lot of believers who feel mission-minded, but maybe don't feel called internationally, but don't know how to get deep in depth like you would by going overseas in a community without being shown how. And you guys have figured out how to really go in depth in a community right here in your own backyard and make, you know, impacts that are going to have rippling effects for generations to come. So how would that be replicable?
You want to answer this? You want me to answer this?
Yeah. So we've just actually, I'll let you answer this.
Well, meaning we think that because in these small communities, like Quitman County is a microcosm of small towns across the Delta and across the state. And there is some declining enrollment in these small towns, but at the same time, there's still hundreds and hundreds of kids in our state that need teachers year in and year out. And some of our kids are, you know, they might have looked back at their 12, 13 years of education, and they can point out times where they had a long-term sub or didn't have someone in the right subject area that was teaching them. And we want more kids to be college ready or career ready. And we believe that our school district wants that as well, and they're working hard towards that. There's just so many different hurdles to climb. And so if we're going out and creating more living spaces to where it's easy to come in and actually have a place to rent and actually teach in the community, we have people that commute everywhere because there's not that many places to live in town. And so the replication of that is like you could be in another community and kind of raise up a building to where we're like, let's go find teachers that want to serve these kind of students. A lot of time that just gets choked out by a lack of living situations and lack of community. And so like, how do we meet those two needs and then subsidize the cost of being able to do that for these teachers? And so I definitely think that end of it is something that we are definitely open to look into other communities in the future.
Well, I hope Go ahead.
Sorry, and we've just been approached also by some other districts or people that have been interested in our model. And so we just know that if that is to happen, that could happen in the future. So.
Well, I love that. I hope it replicates and it grows. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to put in a shameless plug. Where can folks go and follow you, see what you're doing, find out ways they can connect or volunteer, or if they want to talk more about how you're doing that so they can help their community? I mean, where can we find you?
Of course. So you can go to our website. It's reclaimproject.org. We also are on Instagram and Facebook. It's like Reclaimed RPJ, I think, RPJ. And you can find us on Facebook, and those are like the best ways to stay up to date. We also have a newsletter that goes out every month, and so that's an easy way to sign up for that on our website so that you can receive a little more in-depth updates other than just social media updates. But you can give online and also find out about our fundraisers on our website. So if you're wondering about the golf tournament on September 10th, or you're wondering about the dinner in Jackson this fall, that's where you'll find all that information.
Yeah, and I'll say for the golf tournament, we picked a date where any state fans, Mississippi State's playing at 10 p.m. that night. And so their Saturday should be free, and Ole Miss is playing at home against Central Arkansas, but not till 6. So and the Clarksdale Country Club is a really, really cool Delta course, and I think it's going to be really fun to put a tournament on there. So definitely be worth the drive. And So if you're trying to get over to Oxford from there, you can easily get over there and get to the Grove before the game starts. And
You
so
know
you got
how to-
you got to take care of your sports fans.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know
I might be driving over there too.
Yeah, you know how to
Anyway.
cross out any of those excuses that one might have, but there's no excuse. They can at least connect with you guys over on social media at the Reclaim
That's right.
Project. We look forward to keeping up with your story. Thank you both for your time today, and
Thank you
good
so
luck with the
much.
rest of summer.
Awesome.
Thank you. Have a great summer as well.
All righty, you guys stick with us. It's Friday, so we'll have Tanya with movies.